or 8 minutes play underway. The tap goes Buckley's way. A clearly grabbed, play on call the umpire. A chance for Woodville to force the ball forward. Scrambly players. The player picking up the ball is Godric. Gets it out over towards Mitchell. Mitchell with the left footer up towards half forward. Haynes is going to be in the way for Port Adelaide, taking the chest mark. Haynes, fairly strong player. Awkward looking kick. This time he covers quite a deal of distance out towards the centre wing. Finds Eugene Warrior taking the mark on the chest. He'll play on quickly onto the left boot. Drives towards centre half forward. Down there is Roderick, but he's got the back position. The front position is Fowles. Playing the ball along. Gets the handball out. Another handball coming back. There's been an infringement against Port Adelaide and the free kick to go Woodville's way.
Goes to Fowles too, I think, Bob.
Stephen Fowles just a little bit slow on the ground. Tends to get himself into trouble. Forced to make a hurried handball then.
Fowles at centre half pack to drive Port Adelaide out of attack and put Woodville into attack over the centre of the ground. The ball on the ground, it's cleared by Port Adelaide up just over the centre of the ground. It's gathered in by Maynard. He slips to the ground in plenty of stride, ducks his head, gets out of it, breaks onto the left boot, swings the ball out towards the left half forward flank, but it's Woodville out in front. The player didn't get the run of the ball, but it's Heaven going to back up, get the ball on with a handball. The handball was good to Fowles. Fowles back to Heaven. Heaven taking plenty of time, gets the ball back to Fowles. Fowles back to Heaven. The handball almost went astray, but Heaven this time gets his boot to the ball up towards half forward. Underneath the ball, missing it badly was Tearley. Cleared by McLeod, or should have cleared it. Handball is straight to the Woodville player in Harvey. He's grabbed when not in possession, will receive the free kick.
Well done, the little fella too. Kept persevering at that with a lot of determination. Finished up throwing the ball out and waiting for the grasping hands, and that's what he felt. And umpire Foster saw them, and now he's going to line up for his chance to put his first goal on the board, and Woodville's 8.
Peter Harvey just a little too far out for this shot. It's going long, it's into the square. Not a sun there as Haynes is forced to keep his eyes on the ball. Tapped it in front, picked up by Miller. Tries to get clear towards the centre of the ground. Good play by Miller as he put himself over the top of the ball, but it was fumbled by Brenton, and umpire Foster comes in to bounce the ball. Bad luck then for Woodville as Brenton fumbled.
Certainly need goals too now, Woodville, favoured with this breeze.
There's Ebert trying to take the ball in Bob Oatey fashion. It was bounced then by umpire Foster, and it'll be thrown in the right forward pocket, going towards the Woodville end.
Don't forget the Channel 9 football show tomorrow at 12 noon. Edited highlights. You'll see 15 minutes of edited highlights of the grand final, the big clash between Glenelg and North Adelaide.
And also second highlights from today's game here, the one that you're watching now, the direct telecast of the Woodville and Port Adelaide seconds grand final. Mueret thrown off the ball, but not in possession according to umpire Foster. And he receives the free kick on the right half forward flank. In the way that this boy's kicked today for goal, he kicked 3 out of Woodville's first 4 and would possibly be Woodville's second best player. He would have a big chance of kicking this goal. He's 40 metres out from goal. On a 45-degree angle, the kick on its way, it's a wobbly one. Got off the end of the boot, but Brenton's in the front position. No Port Adelaide players in short. Brenton plays on. He's got the player out in front of goal there is John Girardi, who's on the ground as 19th man, and he chips in for his first kick of the game. Haven't been able to pick up the player that hasn't appeared for Woodville after half-time, but John Girardi certainly on the ground and makes his press felt straight away as he bangs right through the middle.
No, I'm on to the right.
How's your eyes going, Bob?
How's my eyes going? I thought that I watched it off the boot and I thought it was going straight through the middle.
It's certainly headed towards the middle, that's for sure.
The wind pulled it off right at the last bit. It was sort of a half-hearted effort from John Girardi, who I believe has been favouring a pulled hamstring, and this was one of the reasons why he was only sitting on the bench.
It's a defensive kick by McLeod, wide to the side, and that's a good mark then by Alex Highhorick, the half-back flanker for Port Adelaide. Highhorick having a little bit of trouble there on that side with Mueret, kicks towards centre wing. Haynes attempting to back into the players around him, tapped out of bounce, thrown in right in front of our commentary point at Adelaide Oval.
Be a handy player for Woodville, John Girardi, if he can slip into this game straight away. A lot of senior experience.
Paul Marrett in front, taps down well to Boston. He picks up at second attempt, taps on well to Kim Clark. He's a dasher, kicks well to position. He runs on well for Alan Maynard. Maynard in trouble, almost choked, put down very hard then on that half-back flank. And Alan Maynard will take a well-deserved free kick from the left half-forward flank. And you can see in your screen that he's not feeling the best at this stage. And there's umpire Foster penalising Mitchell 15 metres. It seemed a little bit difficult to give the ball back to Alan Maynard as he wasn't looking at that player.
Umpire Foster standing over players. Not a good thing to do at any stage.
What was the 15 metres penalty for?
Well, I don't think Foster actually looked at the fact that Maynard was in no position to receive
right.
the kick on the fourth. Good kick by Maynard, because the 15 metres certainly brought him within kicking distance of goal. And Maynard, after receiving that one round the neck, was standing back, hands on his knees, head down, and the Woodville player, to my way of thinking, doing the right thing, waiting for Maynard to call for the ball or look up or be in a position to receive it. And Foster didn't appear to look at the Port Adelaide player, was just content on telling Mitchell to give him the ball, and Mitchell saying, well, he can't receive it on the full, and got pinged 15 metres. But play underway once more with Kurovec in ruck. There's Buckley getting the tap once more. Woodville player in plenty of strife with Girardi. It's cleared by Haynes up towards centre half forward. Sorrell almost pulled the mark in. It's picked up by Harvey. Harvey with the long handball out onto Fowles. Fowles the handball to Heaven. Heaven not quite expecting the handball. Regains possession of the ball. It slipped through Roderick's fingers, picked up by Black. Black's kick dribbled off his boot, almost over the line on the full, but out of bounds on the grandstand wing.
A lot of experienced players almost unsighted. One, for example, Trevor Sorrell. Port Adelaide must be reconsidering the decision that they did make of putting a player who has been injured for some time. As Port Adelaide go forward now, kicked out of danger by Port Adelaide, back towards the centre of the ground, and there's that man Girardi. John Girardi plays on quickly towards Mitchell. Mitchell straightens up, shoots for goal with a screw punt that looks good from here. We watch for the umpire, it's just slightly offline. 1 point Woodville.
Woodville certainly needing goals now, and they can ill afford to be misdirecting their kicks. It looked as though Mitchell had done everything right there. He used his pace to break clear of the clutching hands of the Port Adelaide defender, and in doing that, he realised he had got clear and balanced himself perfectly, but missed a rather easy shot. And Woodville need goals now, as they are favoured with this breeze.
The kick in is punched forward by Woodville player coming through as Ebert missed the run of the ball, but it's picked up by Kinnear. Kinnear's left footer, Maynard getting back underneath the ball, almost pulled the ball in a stiff opposition. However, the Woodville player kicks the ball high, was right. Nobody able to take the ball off hands. There's a chance for John Girardi. Lines the goals up from the forward pocket. Speed away through the middle. A magnificent goal by Girardi on the run. Judged it well, lined them up deep in the pocket. A magnificent goal on the run.
Full of merit, John Girardi. Did everything right there, as you called it, Bob. He got to the fall of the ball and gathered it in, perfectly gathered. Plenty of balance, lined up the goals and banged it through, and he's been an important player already in this quarter. The quarter's only been going for 7 minutes, and he would have had 4 kicks, and in that 4 kicks he's been able to put a goal on the board, so that's very good. Woods will now go to 8-7-55, trailing Port, who are 9-8-62.
Ball on the ground. Miller under plenty of pressure falls to the ground when tackled by Haynes, and umpire Foster calling for the bounce. Bounce right in the centre of the ground. In ruck for Port Adelaide is Kurovec. He's opposed to Buckley. Buckley giving away height, but he gets the tap away once more. Warrior trying to play for the free kick, but gains possession of the ball. Swings the left footer out, trying to find Broderick. Broderick almost hooked it in one-handed. Fumbles the ball on the ground, knocked forward by Fowles. Broderick has to fall on top of the ball. Shovels the handball out in the direction of Warrior. The ball bounced away from him. Clark runs into plenty of trouble in Edwards, the Woodville captain, but there's a trip being paid. It's going to go the way of Warrior. Fowles apparently, when he was on the ground, tripped Warrior as he was going past. Eugene Warrior to receive the free kick on the left half forward flank for Port Adelaide.
Eugene Warrior lifting his game at the beginning of this quarter, and will be kicking. It'll be interesting to see what leg he'll use. He's a tremendous kick with either leg, and he's a very effective player.
He'll use his left one.
Yes, and just be outside of his distance from this position. It's a wobbly old kick into the square. Sorrell trying to get under. It's over the top, kept well in front there by Woodville. Sorrell slaps. Well done by Woodville, kept it in front again. There's Kinnear trying to get clear. Round the shoulders, round the neck, says the umpire. He's got a shot right in front now, only some 25-30 metres out. No comment from Noel Teasdale.
No, none whatsoever.
Making his shot a little easy. He was going to have a shot for goal, but it's a set shot, but it's offline and through for only 1 point to Port Adelaide, kicking into the breeze in the third quarter, and they hold a lead of 8 points over Woodville, 63-55.
Taken in by Ettridge. A low, long drop punt looking to the centre wing there. Mitchell taken off hands by Edwards, perhaps Woodville's best player today. A long kick by him up to right. Right plays on well to Richter. Richter towards Brenton, but there's the reliable Tealey coming out, drawing the player, feinting the handball, and he's at centre wing before he clears to the half-back flank. Good play, Neville Tealey. Under the ball then, Woodville unable. John Girardi again in the thick of things since he came on. Fouls a little slow. Well done, Maynard. Kept the ball in front. No decision whatsoever by umpire Foster as I waited for him to award a free kick. And that mark was well taken there by Lindsay Evans in the centre diamond.
Only player that wanted the ball, kept his eye on it all the time, realising that these are the things that are necessary to win a grand final. Go in and get the ball.
Tremendous courage shown then by the little fella.
Over the top of the pack there, taken by Woodville, handball one well to Godric. Might have been shifted from centre or otherwise down the ground. Inexperienced play there, didn't take that necessary time to straighten the ball up, and it's out of bounds on the full.
Out of bounds on the, well, not out of bounds, out of bounds on the full, and the penalty kick to be taken by McLeod, right in the back pocket for Port Adelaide. He kicks wide to the outer half-back flank, the ball on the ground, nobody able to take the mark. It's gathered in cleverly then by Godric. Godric's looking for the short one over towards Stephen Girardi. Girardi thrown off the ball, picked up by Miller. Miller throws the long handball out towards John Girardi. The handball to Richter. Richter's handball under Brenton, but it's going to be cleared by Haynes. Sockers the ball off the ground out in the direction of Warrior. Warrior leads in the race. The ball gets his boot to the ball up, looking for Maynard. It's over Maynard's head, and the ball over the line and out of bounds, outer wing. Port Adelaide 9 goals 9, Woodville 8 goals 7.
Well, Port Adelaide have been able to keep that ball in play then. They had the loose man set up and could have gone right into the attacking zone, but however the ball was misdirected and finished up over the boundary line.
Haynes off for Port Adelaide, and number 25 Giles has replaced him.
It's tapped down then by Buckley, looking for his rover. It's Port Adelaide leading in the race. The ball in the person of Kinnear, but he slides over the ball off his hands and out of bounds once more. Left half forward flank for Woodville.
Perhaps a no decision in the roving division so far today, as Kurovec gets under this ball, contesting it away quickly then by Kinnear towards the boundary. Well shepherded then Maynard. Trevor Sorrell was shepherded. He may have gone to centre as Maynard's down the ground now towards Boston. That's a magnificent pass. Boston plays on quickly to the centre of the ground. There's the Northcott, perhaps the first time we've seen him today. Hooks. We wait for the umpire. Off line slightly, 1 point, and that's almost Chris Northcott's first shot for today.
Well, that was the loose play then by Port Adelaide that was set up previously, but this time they got away with it with a well-directed pass from Maynard, set the play up, and then the little player in Boston swung the ball over to the leading Northcott, but his snap was just offline. Northcott got to get into this game. He hasn't kicked a goal so far.
Kick in by Edridge. It's a poor one off the toe of the boot. It's fallen in the arms of Eckerman. One of the reasons for Port Adelaide slip in the second quarter. He looks for Northcott. Northcott dives, doesn't gather it in. Ball dropped by Ettridge almost. Play on called the umpire. It's a chance for Mitchell to do something with it, but he loses the run of the ball. Is picked up by Warrior. Cleverly snaps around with the left foot in the direction of centre half forward. Maynard up high, couldn't gather it in. Tapped on by Roderick to Boston. Good football. Boston lines the goals up, bangs it through. There goes Port Adelaide's 10th goal. They move along to 10 goals, 10, 70 points. Port Woodville 8 goals, 7, 55, and Boston's third goal. The score at that point will leave you for this short break, and we'll be back for the rest of this game from the Adelaide Oval.
They gone, Woodies.
Yep. Yes.
Who's off?
I don't know who's come off.
We'll go down the side.
Coudray?
Yeah, it might be young Coudray.
25.
Yeah, it would be.
Spry still on. Girardi.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh.
It's going to bounce through.
It bounced.
No.
Who kicked that?
Spry.
Right, Chris Spry. Wasn't a soul there.
I'd love to see him get back into it. Yeah, how's that?
8 goal, 8, 10 goal, 10.
Gee, they don't know how to bump, and they don't keep chasing, do they?
No.
Hey?
A lot of inexperience out there today.
Yeah.
First time he's come to the grandstand side.
Well, that's...
He kicked out last time there, Bob, which was surprising.
One. That's right, he did too.
And then he
Woodville
kicked
started
out
off
the
that
grandstand side from the northern end too.
Back here at the Adelaide Oval, we almost saw a magnificent goal kick by Spry. The ball bounced 1 metre out from goal on the left-hand side of the goals and bounced right across the face of goals to the other side and through for a point. Here's a chance for Woodville, though. It's a good juggled mark then. Buckley, taken by Buckley, who's been a great player for Woodville seconds today.
He's lining up for his second goal. He's already got one on the board, and as Bob Shearman told you, he's been a great player for Woodville. He's taken on the big fellows from Port Adelaide single-handed virtually, and has done very, very well. He's set up a lot of play for his Rovers, kicked the goal, lined up, and there he is. He's put his own second goal on the board, and Woodville's ninth. They now go to 9-8, 62, trailing Port Adelaide, who are 10-10-70. 8 points the difference at the Adelaide Oval in the seconds grand final between Woodville and Port Adelaide.
Woodville favoured by the breeze in this quarter, kicking to the southern end, and Port Adelaide will have the breeze to come home with. And Woodville will want to get a few goals on the board and a few in front to give Port Adelaide a start into the last quarter.
Don't forget the sports show tomorrow. We'll have plenty of edited highlights of the big game, the clash between Glenelg and North Adelaide for the 1973 Premiership. We'll have 15 minutes of highlights. We'll also have edited highlights from the seconds grand final that you're watching now between Port Adelaide and Woodville. Marett gets the tap down. It goes towards Boston. Boston with a quick kick out wide, but in the way is the Woodville defender in Spencer.
Spencer, a good player on that half-back flank.
Yes, been a good player today. He allowed Eckerman to get away from him a little bit in the second quarter, but he's tightened up his game in the third quarter. The ball on the ground once more, grabbed by Richter. Richter feints the handball, then gives it. Indecision by Woodville players. The ball is now going to be gathered in by Haynes, but there's interference. Interference by the Port Adelaide defender.
Mueret, he's a very intelligent player. He signalled, waved his arms about, making sure that umpire Foster saw that he was interfered with a long way away from the play. And he has been a very, very good player, Mueret, a lot of skill. And while we were taking that commercial break a moment ago, he took a great mark high up over the top of a lot of big, tall players. And he's a very good player.
Did he make the distance, Noel?
No.
Not this occasion. It's a poor kick. It's falling short, but it's off hands. Allows Woodville a chance through the person of Buckley barging his way through. Snapped up by Richter. Miller's underneath the ball. Takes the mark and flattened by Marett in a desperate attempt to spoil, but the ball was certainly going to be Miller's mark, and certainly a David and Goliath as Marett came right over the top of Miller. Miller only 10 metres out from goal on an angle, but should be able to register Woodville's 10th goal and put them within 2 points. He has, and Woodville getting back into the game, 10 goals, 862 to 10 goals, 868 to Port Adelaide's 10 goals, 1070 at the 17-minute mark of the third quarter.
A bit of a change over the game there as the little fella from Woodville got into the side, perhaps putting Woodville back into this game, Noel.
Still not enough, no. I feel that
well, they'd won a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, the key thing there was, Bob Shearman said a moment ago, that Woodville at the 17-minute mark. It's taken Woodville 17 minutes to get within 2 points of Port Adelaide.
Tap then by Marett, taken by Woodville's Harvey. Good play by Reid as he realised that no one was in front of him, but he ran to the boundary, and this put Woodville in a dangerous but difficult position to score from as it bounces out of bounds on half-forward right.
Don't forget the replay of the grand final tonight at 7 o'clock with Max Hall, Wally May and Ian Agnew.
We haven't given Terry Short much of a plug today, Darryl. It must be grand final nerves. The VYIs that we normally present every week, we again awarded today to the best player, or might have given a couple more away today to the players on both sides. Woodville's chance, they drive in towards goal from Godric. The ball high underneath the ball. Nobody at home for Woodville, but a player home for Port Adelaide is Teely.
As ever, Neville Teely, that one kick behind the ball, marking unattended in the forward pocket, in the back pocket.
Teely out wide towards the outer half-back flank. Nobody able to mark the ball off hands. A chance for young Miller. Gets the ball under the left boot, swings out in the front of goal. Mueret pushed in the back. Will receive the free kick.
It's either a mark or a push in the back anyway, isn't it?
Yes, Buckley's got the figures on the board. The last one, he's to take the kick. He's only 15 metres out, right in front. And this is the goal, a desperate goal required by Woodville. It's a good kick by Ray Buckley. It would look like missing, and that certainly put Woodville back into this game, and that's Ray Buckley's third goal, and in my book he must be high in the VYIs at this stage of the game for Woodville. Perhaps he and Gary Edwards are fighting out for first place.
And I think Mueret on the half-forward flank.
Yes, that'll be Woodville's third goal in what, the last 5 or 6 minutes now?
Yes.
It took them quite a long time to score a goal with the breeze in the third quarter. The breeze at Adelaide today has been blowing straight down the ground. It's a little bit blustery, but it's blowing to the southern end, and that end would be worth in the vicinity of 3 or 4 goals. Pushed out of the way, the Woodville Woodville player pushed the Port Adelaide player the way. They clear with the handball over towards Godric. Cleverly got the ball up towards centre half forward. High Horrick missed it badly. Kick off the ground. Ball misread by John Girardi, but the handball still in possession of Woodville as Mueret gathers the ball in, has one bounce. He'll try to get round onto the right foot. Balances up, but under plenty of pressure, kicked the ball long and wide out of bounds on the full. The penalty kick to be taken by Himes.
Yes, there have been some position changes by Woodville across that centre. It looks like Tybor Godric's playing on the wing. Perhaps Lindsay Heaven has gone to centre.
Hines is kicked up towards the half-back flank. Players rise high, almost taken off by hands by Colin Black. He's had a bad one in the grand final. He's been a good defender for Port Adelaide all the year. Maynard with the handball, the Warrior. Warrior lopes down the ground, has a one bounce before he kicks, looking for Mueret. Mueret underneath the ball, marks. Mueret well within his kicking distance.
I'll give it to him now.
But he's kicked the ball over towards Eckerman, and Eckerman not a great deal closer to goal than what Mueret was.
Yeah, well, Eckerman didn't run to the right spot. He should have kept running down towards the goal.
He had all the space in the world, Eckerman.
Kicked 3 goals already, Eckerman, for his side.
It's a good kick.
He's kicked 3 goals, 1 now, as the point was registered by Eckerman, and Port Adelaide moving along to 10 goals, 11-71. Trailing now by 3 points, Woodville 11 goals, 8-74.
Trevor Ettridge, a long kick. Tapped away then by Warrior. Warrior's put the ball in the centre, picked by Kinnear. He's found Boston in the forward pocket with a good pass, but he's put Boston in a difficult angle, and we'll be watching to see if Boston can make a goal from that position.
Boston has kicked 3 goals straight for Port Adelaide today. He's always a very, very dangerous rover, but Port Adelaide Rovers, especially in the first quarter and a half of the game, were really sighted. But Boston came into the game strongly. He pops the short one over, and loose defence by Woodville, allowing players to be loose only 20 and 25 metres out from goal is not good play.
The Woodville player was standing there. He didn't bother to get over and stand alongside the Port player.
Straight kick this time by Eckerman to register his 4th goal and Port Adelaide's 11th goal, and Port Adelaide go back to lead by 3 points.
And the most frustrated player on the field at this stage, without a doubt, would be Chris Northcott, needing 7 goals for his 100. Hasn't hardly had a touch today and has only scored 1 point, and perhaps it's not been his fault, as Port Adelaide have not been directing the ball to him.
He's been also kept under a lot of pressure by Ettridge at full-back. Ettridge has been right alongside of him all day.
Roderick on the ball now, makes front position from Buckley, gets the ball down and tap. Harvey first there, handball across to Reid. Reid slips it out to Spencer, coming through well from the half-back flank. Over the top of the pack there through Ebert. McLeod first to the ball, will keep it in front. Out of bounds on the ball, although it was a push in the back. And Noel, you saw something?
Yeah, one player was a little lucky that the umpire didn't see it too.
The umpire didn't want to see it. Foster did not want to see what was going on. He just completely turned his back on it. He saw it all right.
McLeod from that back pocket, kicking towards centre wing. Buckley high, has the ball taken from him though by John Girardi. 2 Woodville position players in the perfect position. Girardi has Heaven at centre half forward. Looks further down the field with a wobbly old kick now, looking for Brendan.
That'll go through.
We'll wait for it. It hasn't been touched. It's a goal for Woodville, and that was a much-needed goal as it bounced through from that long shot there from John Girardi, and that's his 2nd goal since he came on at half-time.
Well, he certainly made his presence felt, hasn't he, Noel?
Has he ever? Taking marks, running around the pack and kicking goals. You can't do much more than that. The player that he replaced, we think it was the player that he replaced, was young Coudray. We haven't been able to pick him up since half-time, and although Coudray did some very good things, I think John Girardi's experience is certainly telling, and unfortunately for the young fellow, obviously he must have been injured because he wasn't playing badly enough to be taken off, but John Girardi's experience is proving invaluable at this stage.
Buckley thumps the ball forward, but Warrior has the chance to clear for Port Adelaide, feints the handball, gets the boot to the ball, finds Teely. Teely will handball onto, is it High Horrick? It was intercepted. High Horrick in strife, grab, we're not in possession, and will receive the free kick.
Inexperienced play then by Mitchell. Dangerous as Port Adelaide now going to attack.
Port Adelaide very lucky to get out of it after the handball though. And High Horrick up towards centre half forward. Maynard spills the mark. Girardi jumped on the ball. Spencer clears towards the centre of the ground. Underneath the ball is Heavenly, immediately handballs on towards Godric. Godric on to Mueret goes for the short one. He finds Brenton.
He's a good player. This lad, good player, Mueret. Very good player indeed. Does something with the ball every time he gets it. Never wastes an opportunity to give it to a teammate with a hand pass or a foot pass.
Well, Woodville's chance to go further ahead as Brenton lines them up. It's a poor kick, drops it on the inside of the boot. It's only 1 point to Woodville. They move along to 12 goals 10, or 12 goals 9, 81 points, trailing Port Adelaide, or leading Port Adelaide, I'm sorry, by 4 points. Port Adelaide 11 goals 11.77.
Almost into time on, into the third quarter. Don't forget the Channel 9 football show tomorrow at 12 noon.
McLeod switching sides again as he kicks to the far side of the ground. Had 2 or 3 sorties over here recently, and now using the drop punters kick to the half-back flank. High in front there, Buckley, Mueret from behind. No one takes the ball to ground. There's Kinnear in position now as he takes it well. Beautifully handballed onto Alex High-Horick. He goes for a sprint, kicks to the centre of the ground. Colin Black fumbles. He hasn't had a good day, but a free
kick to Reed.
Yes, tackled them. We're not in possession by Colin Black, who's having a pretty difficult day today. And there goes Bob Reed as he runs across the centre of the ground to kick. Now he'll handball across to Miller. Miller straightens up on that left leg, kicks towards the square, but there's 2 Port Adelaide players, and that was bad play, Woodville, there, as Miller had no one to kick to.
Keeley once again.
Keeley will go to the outer side of the ground. I feel sorry for Colin Black because he's been such a good player, and to have a horror's day, especially in the grand final, such as Colin's had today, really knocks the confidence out of the person.
That's a good mark by Eddie Richter as he made front position, and he's found Lindsay Heaven.
And he will make the distance, Darryl. Don't worry about that.
And can he shoot accurately?
Should do.
Kicking with the wind slightly across him. The wind sprang up during the half-time break, but it seems to be back to about a 4-goal breeze at this stage. We'll watch now. That's a good goal by Lindsay Heaven, right through the centre. Noel Teasdale pulled it, and Woodville now go a little further ahead. They're going ahead to a 10-point lead at this stage. 1 minute into time on in the third quarter.
Valuable player, Lindsay Head. Played on the wing in the first half of the game and did very, very well against Warrior. And now I feel that he shifted into the centre, and that goal is the one that Woodville really needed, because they weren't far enough ahead, and I don't know whether they are at this stage, but they needed one then to put them 10 points ahead.
Well, the fact is, Noel, that they haven't given up, and they're still trying there to establish a winning lead at the three-quarter time break.
Another couple of quick goals to Woodville could put them right back in the game, with John Girardi handballing out to Heaven. The handball's wide. It's cleared by High-Horick, high up towards centre-half forward, looking for Broderick. Broderick juggles the mark play on call. Foster throws the handball away towards Kurovic. Kurovic under plenty of pressure from Spry. It's picked up by player in Harvey. Harvey lost possession of the ball. Come out to Eckerman. Eckerman throws it onto Colin Black. Colin Black pushed on the ball, too slow to get rid of it. Reed throws out the handball in the direction of Edwards. Edwards clears well for Woodville up towards the centre wing. In front, however, is Giles on as 19th man for Port Adelaide. Giles' kick is a short one for 4-1. It's found the Woodville player in Mitchell. Mitchell goes wide to the flank. Players leading out in that direction. Ebert has the ball bounced through his fingers. McLeod recovers, punches the ball towards the boundary line, over the line on the right half forward flank for Woodville.
2.5 minutes of time on in the third quarter, and Woodville badly needing a goal to keep themselves well in this game, because Port Adelaide will come home favoured by the breeze.
And that was an injured player, Stephen Fowles, in your picture just some moments ago, the centre half back.
Ball in the centre of the ground. Broderick almost run over the top of a trainer, pushed in the back, gets the handball out towards Kim Clark, the wingman from Port Adelaide. He's had a quiet one today. His kick over the head of Colin Black. It's going to be gathered in by Spry. Spry tries to handball over his head. It's punched down by Kurovic, gathered in by Black. Black held on the ball a little bit too long, but finally got his boot to it, and the ball's going to trickle over the line once more, this time deep in the full forward pocket for Port Adelaide.
Black very slow to get the ball onto his boot.
Yes, definitely a half-back flanker plays straight ahead.
Not like the Port Adelaide players, they usually whiz the ball onto their boot in no time, but Black just can't do it.
Kurovic and Spry there, taken by Fowles, who seems to have recovered. He kicks to Broderick. Broderick in all sorts of trouble. Good tackle then by Clark, but well followed on by Spencer, the half-back flanker. He may have been shifted across the ground as he kicks the half-forward flank. There goes Mueret, used a little bit of pace, but well tackled by the Port Adelaide player, Giles, Tony Giles, on the ground at half-time on the half-back flank. Giles down the ground looking for Alan Maynard. He marks and slows down play, with Port Adelaide probably quite happy to go to three-quarter time, just trailing by this deficit. Good kick by Maynard, looking for Broderick. fouls from behind, both hands on the ball, and has taken a well-earned mark.
Fouls at centre half-back, goes for the short one. Up towards the centre, taken by John Girardi. Has one bounceable handball over to Lindsay Heaven out wide in the wing. The ball sits nicely for him. He balances up, drives the ball in long towards goal.
That'll be a goal.
If it runs straight, will go through. It doesn't run straight.
Second time
for Woodville. Second time. The first time it happened when we were off there for a short commercial break, and then that time exactly the same thing, ran right across the face of goal, and only one more point to Woodville.
Woodville unlucky on both of those, and that certainly would have put them right into this game, given them a little bit more opportunity. A short pass by McLeod to Trevor Sorrell, perhaps playing as a follower now, kicks on quickly, looking for Neville Tealey. Tealey goes from his customary run to centre wing. Out of bounds on the full though, as the ball went off the side of the boot there, and Neville Tealey wouldn't be excused for that.
One of the few mistakes that Tealey has made all day, trying to direct the ball to the loose player set up then, but couldn't get it over to him.
Long play then by Girardi, marked unattended at centre half-back. Looks like Eckerman down from the half-forward flank. Eckerman to centre. Clark from behind. Good play then by Richter to keep himself in the game. Play on Clark. His runs now towards the centre of the ground. Kicking over the top of Boston. It's just a little bit too far for him. Tapped on by Kurovec. No, well taken by Gary Edwards. Magnificent play there for the back pocket player to come through.
Oh, look
and
at the
he's
pass.
found Richter on the centre wing. Richter across the centre finds Godric. Godric's got players running in front of him. It's a beautiful drop kick by him into the forward pocket, and well tapped from behind. Right there, shifted to full forward. High Horrick to centre wing, and there's Kim Clark taking the ball on centre wing. In all sorts of trouble there as he took a little too long to get rid of the ball, and there's the centre half forward right, kicking the ball forward, handballing it forward. Taken by Eckerman to McLeod. The ball on the ground. Port Adelaide certainly very determined in this position, and they've been awarded another free kick to be taken by the half-forward flanker, now playing in the defensive position, Ian Eckerman.
Eckerman to take the kick will bring the ball out towards the grandstand wing. The ball just inside the boundary line. Nobody able to mark the ball off hands over the line and out of bounds. In ruck for Woodville is Ray Buckley, who's given away inches all day. This time he's opposed to Neville Tealey. He gets the tap down once more in the direction of Godric. Godric gathers the ball in beautifully as the siren rings. Bad luck for Woodville as Godric was streaming in towards goal. In the three-quarter time, Port Adelaide trail by 11 points, with Woodville 13 goals, 10-88. Port Adelaide 11 goals, 11-77. Port Adelaide to kick with the breeze in the last quarter, and if Woodville can hold them out for a little while, it should be a great finish in the grand final. We'll be back for the last quarter after this short break.
Well, I'm a bit inclined to think that the conditioning that North Adelaide have had with hard games and an easy game last week against Sturt, with all due respect to the two ex-Sturt players, but they would have to agree that it was an easy game for North last week, and I think the match conditioning is going to help North Adelaide.
And you'll see that replay tonight on Channel 9 at 7 o'clock.
Play about to get underway as umpire Des Foster blows the whistle for commencement of play in the last quarter of the second grand final. 11 points the difference. Woodville in front. Mueret gets the tap down, but it goes Woodville play, gathered in by Spry. Gets his left foot kick up towards centre half forward. Almost a magnificent mark pulled in by Mueret. Player falling to the ground. The ball shovels it forward. It's not Mueret, it's Stephen Girardi. Stephen Girardi has a quick shot at the post. Bad luck for Woodville. They've hit the post from a quick snap. They had two balls running in towards goal in the third quarter that been bounced backwards and straight across the face of goal and only got points, and bad luck for Woodville hitting the post on that occasion.
Stephen Girardi out across the half-forward line, and Wright moving from centre half-forward to full forward.
Gee, what a great start that would have been for the last quarter for Woodville.
Would have been a great start. McLeod comes straight down the centre of the ground. Buckley in Mueret position to do battle off hands, gathered in by Lindsay Heaven. He goes wide. He's got Mueret out. Not Mueret, it's Godric. Godric's...
There's Mueret.
Fine Mueret. Mueret juggled it, but held the ball well, and he'd be 40 metres out from goal. Just to kick up into the breeze. And he's been a good player for Woodville on the half-forward flank. Kicked 3 out of their first 4 goals. Hasn't kicked a goal since then, but this time the ball is on its way. It's going to fall a fraction short. The big arms of Paul Mueret reach up and pluck the ball, and Port Adelaide saved right on the last line of defence.
Paul Mueret now clearing from the back pocket, as we have seen him do many times.
Well done, Buckley.
For the league side, and that's a good mark to Ray Buckley, one of Woodville's better players today, using strong body play around the ground to nullify the extra height that the Port Adelaide ruckmen have.
Buckley led the pack underneath the ball then, and then Kane took one step back and took the mark. That was well done.
Kicking to a pack across the full forward line. Kicking to the pocket now in front of the pack, right in front, unable to mark. Players throw themselves on the ball. Umpire Foster forced to bounce.
Well, Woodville should set up a line of players across around the centre in case the quick kick comes out, so as they can keep forcing this ball back into the scoring area.
Well, they've got 3 across half forward at the moment. Noel, as Port Adelaide drives the ball, you're exactly right. The ball with the breeze behind it has carried it up over the centre line. It's a chance for Port Adelaide to go right into attack now as Eckerman drives the ball towards centre half forward. Kurovec has the front position, the ball off hands. Chance for Woodville to clear them through the person of Fowles. Fowles goes wide out from the wing looking for Spencer. Spencer takes the mark on the chest.
That's a perfectly placed kick.
Well directed, beautiful kick. Spencer putting Woodville into attack. Ball high, looking for Stephen Girardi. Girardi misjudges the ball, a chance for High Hurrick, who should have handballed but turned nicely out of trouble. Gets his left boot into the ball. It's high. It's a chance for Sorrell, who's been a very, very quiet player for Port Adelaide. Sorrell taking the mark will go short. He'll find Clark. Clark will break forward towards goal. The ball on its way. The kick looks
online.
Not quite straight enough. Only 1 point. And Port Adelaide, 11 goals, 12. 78 points. They trail by 11 points with Woodville on 13 goals, 11, 89.
Woodville must concentrate on keeping pressure on the Port Adelaide side, not to allow them to get back into this game and pressure and make them fumble the ball. On the other hand, Port Adelaide must keep running, getting to the fall of the ball and get their teamwork going.
The scoreboard clock refuses to begin to work here at Adelaide Oval as Ettridge has found a player, John Girardi, on the half-back flank. So long drop kick by him over the top of the wingman, tapped on well out of Muret's hand though by Port Adelaide. Peter Mueret, equal to the occasion, kept his eye on the ball, his body over the ball, and he's been nullified by 2 Port Adelaide players, but awarded a free kick for persistence more than anything else, and he's an excellent player, and I'd rate him as having a strong future for Woodville as a league prospect.
Don't know whether that's in the book though, Darryl. Persistence.
To the half-forward line now, tapped away from right, picked up by Buckley. Buckley forced to kick over his shoulder. Marked, no, kept in front by Colin Black, who kept his eye on the ball and took the body aimed at him, and that's good play by Colin Black, who's had a very quiet day today.
He's had a bad day, really, but that's the best thing that he's done all day, Colin Black. He was prepared to take the bump.
Typical Port Adelaide stuff, wasn't it? As ball tapped away now, and a free kick awarded to Harvey, Peter Harvey, second rover for Woodville. He's got Brenton leading across the ground. Wobbly old kick towards him. Port Adelaide now will clear through Maynard, who read that ball off hands well.
It's Maynard having 3 bounces, goes short, trying to find Broderick. The kick is offline, misread by Spencer. A chance for Eckerman to tap it forward. Edwards misread the ball, grab Kinnear. Kinnear gets the ball, swings it out wide, looking for Northcote out in front on the lead. Northcote slips over. It gives Ettridge the big chance to clear. He has 1 bounce, doing it easily. Gets his boot into the ball. It's a magnificent kick. Just fell a fraction short of Muret. He kept it in play cleverly. Gets 1 round the neck. But the ball before that was over the line and out of bounds.
He's a spectacular type player, isn't he, Muret?
The way he half-volleyed that ball when he ran to it was beautiful.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Buckley in ruck opposed to Tealey. Tealey gets the front position, but Buckley gets the tap over the back. Boston grab when not in possession. Play on called the umpire. A stack of players trying to force the ball forward. The handball's going to come out to, was it Godric, with the ball up forward. A magnificent pass. And he has found...
Right, isn't it? Number 19.
Right, number 19.
Too far out of the goal.
For Stephen Girardi. Girardi in front. Takes the mark, and Girardi, 45 metres out, will go for a short one in, trying to find John Girardi.
In the back.
He cops the mark or the free kick, whichever one you want, and...
Plenty of courage from John Girardi there.
Put under the hammer.
Take the risk. Oh, and there's punches being thrown. Right on your screen. Channel 9 has caught it right for you there with plenty of punches in the grand final of the seconds between Port Adelaide and Woodville.
Yes, Woodville looking good in the first few moments in this quarter, and they won't want to lose their concentration right at this spot, or otherwise they'll have fallen for that Port Adelaide 3-card trick.
I thought I was back at Sydney at the Rugby League grand final a couple of weeks ago.
You're suggesting that Port Adelaide do this a little bit, Darryl? Well, I take their mind off the game.
Might be inferring that, I think, Noel.
Well, Woodville have got a 15-metre penalty out of it, and they put John Girardi only 20 metres out from goal, and he's been a good player from Woodville since he came on at half-time. He's been a damaging player. He has kicked 2 goals. He's picked up numerous amount of kicks, and this should bring up his 3rd goal and put Woodville 17 points in front. The kick on its way. It's, a shocker of a kick from Girardi. Hooked it right across the face of goal, and Girardi has kicked now 2 goals, 2, with a chance to have not sealed the game up for Woodville, but put Woodville in a great position at the 7-minute mark of the last quarter to have given them a lead of 17 points, but they still only lead by 2 straight kicks.
We'll see who takes now advantage and can settle down at that little fracas there, and it may well be Port Adelaide.
Colin Black breaks clear to across the half-back line, kicks towards the half-forward line looking for Broderick. He's squawked well by fouls. We play then by Woodville as they set up the time, plenty of time through Spencer. He's on his left leg, but it's out of bounds on the full, just in front of our commentary position.
Played a very useful game too, that lad on the half-back flank.
Spencer taken by Hines. Hines across to Boston. He's been a courageous player, not as dynamic as normal, but putting his body where he needed to on all occasions. Across to Clark. Clark fumbles. So I think that ground's a little hard out there. A lot of players having difficulty picking it up on the ground. There's Spry as he falls over and grabs hold of the legs as Tearley. It's good play by Tearley to Kurovec. Kurovec runs into an open goal. There it is, 6 points for Port Adelaide. And then I wonder if we can attribute that to the situation that did develop some 30 seconds ago.
I wouldn't think so. I don't think that there's been anything to suggest that either team has been affected by it, but nevertheless, Port Adelaide have been the ones that have benefited because they were able to get the quick goal on the board to bring them that 6 points closer, and we find the scores now at the 7-minute mark of the final quarter. There you can see it on your screen at the moment. 13-12-90 Woodville leading Port Adelaide 12-12-84.
Do you think that time clock has made up the lost time, because it wasn't going for some time in the start of the last quarter? They have played possibly about 8.5 minutes, is it, Noel? We've got the handball over to Warrior. Warrior streams goal. Woods goes for the short kick, trying to find. It wasn't Northcote, it was Sorrell throwing himself out the ball. It's cleared by Woodville out the half-back flank. Clark leads in the race for the ball with the ball. Beat him over the line. It doesn't. It just comes back into play. Clark trips over, gets the handball onto Colin Northcote. Colin Northcote drives in towards centre-half forward over Broderick's head. Sorrell can't handle the ball. Edwards grabbed. Woodville has the chance to clear now. It's coming through again as Spencer. He's been a good player on the half-back flank, out wide towards the centre wing. But a good mark in defence being taken by Port Adelaide. Back into the centre of the ground. Captain Neville Tearley there all by himself takes the easy mark.
Game starting to open up now as players are getting very, very tired, and it's going to be the fittest side that could win this game.
Tearley's kicking towards the centre-half forward position. A bounce a goal. Woodville player runs over the top of the ball. Players fall on top of it. There's a chance now for Broderick. He runs straight into trouble. Umpire Foster, no option but to call for the bounce.
He didn't try to get it out of the pack then, that Port Adelaide player. He had a few Port Adelaide players waiting on the outskirts of the pack, but he chose to run into the pack and keep the ball in the area.
Woodville are replacing
Godric.
Spencer, is it?
Spencer.
That's Carlaw coming on. Now, he's a recruit with tremendous potential, so it's said down at Woodville. Tapped on well then by Reid, looking for Miller. Miller kept it in front, but Clark used his pace. He fumbled. Heaven almost handballed to Kinnear. Now it goes to Kinnear for Port Adelaide back towards the square. Mueret underneath the ball. His arms high. Fumbles. Taken by Trevor Sorrell. Throws it nowhere. Out comes John Girardi, and he's been given a free kick for a push in the back, and will clear.
Around the neck with this.
Yeah, around the neck, umpire Foster indicated.
I'm sorry, I apologise. Taken now by Mitchell. Mitchell turns back into trouble, holding the ball. Good play, both Eckerman and Warrior.
We weren't actually pulling you up on the back, but Noel and I both took our earphones off and went, ooh.
As I'm sure John Girardi, with his back to the umpire, threw that ball out.
It's Eugene Warrior with the long kick in towards the square, looking for Mueret. Mueret spoiled from behind. It's a chance for Woodville to clear now through the person of Reid. Reid dummies around, runs into trouble, recovered well, however, drives the ball out wide towards the half-back flank. The ball dangerously close to the line, but Maynard is there and taking the mark on the chest. Maynard, left footer, has had a fairly quiet day, done some useful things during the day, however, and his kick going long in towards goal is a magnificent long kick by Maynard. It's
John Girardi's taken the mark.
Right on the line, and almost good play by Sorrell. Then he tried to push Girardi away. would have had to have been pinged if he had it, but had no option as he wasn't in a position to mark, and now not...
There's a decent 15-metre penalty.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's from 2 metres
right
out
from the
from
line.
goal. 2 metres out from goal, and about 25 metres out. The kick cleared by Girardi out towards the centre wing, and Woodville in a holding Port Adelaide at the stage to give them a chance to take out the seconds premiership. The kick up towards half forward. Jeff Ebert underneath the ball pulls down a good defensive mark. Goes for the short one in towards the centre of the ground. Once more it's Tearley lurking there. He's been there a lot of the time today. Kicks the ball high as he's put under pressure from behind. Buckley almost pulling the ball on the ground. Warrior almost raked the ball in. Carlaw in on top of the ball. Broderick picks the ball up. Should handball, but he elects to kick the ball in towards Sorrell. Punched away from Sorrell. Edwards goes after the ball, but the ball beat him over the line and out of bounds.
Again, good defensive tactics then by Woodville. Etheridge couldn't mark the ball. He's beaten Northcote pointlessly throughout the day, and now Sorrell at full forward, who hasn't done anything. He can't get into the game against the bustling tactics of Etheridge.
Goal, the difference 6.5 minutes into the 11.5 minutes into the last quarter.
As Buckley gets that tap down to Carlaw, umpire calls play on as it looked like around the neck there, and it's to be bounced on the half forward flank in the Port Adelaide scoring zone. Waiting now with Buckley, who's been a real worker for Woodville today, opposed to Mike Broderick, who began at centre half forward, is now on the ball. Broderick, a good tap over the top looking for Boston, however it's taken off hands by Carlaw. Quick kick by Mitchell along the ground, a real grass burner as it goes out of bounds right in front of us here at our commentary point.
Well, we've got to give away our VYIs again today, Darren. It's getting to the halfway mark of the last quarter to think about. I think we might give away a couple of pair of Terry Shorts VYIs today to players on both sides.
It's good weather for it, Bob, and I'm sure Terry would agree with that, as Eugene Warrior read that ball well. Good tackle, though, by Heaven. Kept the ball in. Heaven breaks clear now as it comes out to him. 2 centre half forward. There's Godric getting in position over the top, bounced off his chest, taken by Tony Giles, been a good player since he came on the ground, and he's kicked to the centre wing. A lot of players flew high. Boston almost gave the handball, taken now by Maynard as it was blocked off Boston's boots. He's gone across to Kim Clark, who's been a very good player over there, getting clear on many occasions. Towards Broderick, fouls from behind. Broderick recovers quickly. Tries to straighten up, is forced to get a quick kick. He's followed on well. Well done, Broderick, there as he kept his eye on the ball. Gary Edwards tackled him well, though, as Stephen Fowles now clears from centre half back, and there's a Woodville player, Eddie Richter, with a mile in front of him.
Eddie Richter gathers the ball in on the outer centre wing, has one bounce, trying to draw the player forward. How goes the pass in towards Harvey? It's gathered in then by Godric. Godric gets the ball back towards Harvey. Harvey out of bounds on the full, right in the
Inexperience had the shot there from an impossible angle, and young Mueret, a player who's kicked 3 goals for his side and played very well, had bobbed up virtually in the goal square.
Kick cleared by Giles out towards the half-back flank. Good mark pulled in by the Port Adelaide wingman in Clark. He goes short into the centre of the ground, finds Boston. Boston plays on, gets around the player on the mark, has one bounce, 2, straightens up, 3, under pressure, trying to do a little bit too much. Finally gets his kick in up towards the centre wing position. It's grabbed by Carlson just on the ground as 20th man for Port Adelaide. Swings the ball in towards Sorrell. Ball bounces into Sorrell's lap, gathers it in, swings in towards goal. Handball at Carlson. He runs into trouble, gets rid of the handball over to Kinnear. Kinnear dodges around cleverly. There's the goal, the equaliser to make the scores all level at the 15-minute mark of the last quarter.
That's Kim Kinnear's first goal. He's kicked 1 goal, 2, and a lot of players with their heads down out there at this stage as the fatigue's starting to tell, some 15 minutes into the last quarter.
And we'll be back with you in just a few moments after the short break with Woodville 13 goals, 12.90. Port Adelaide 13 goals, 12.90.
We've got a game on our hands. Good that last.
Come on, Woodville, kick a goal. Kick a goal. I might give 3 pairs of his sunglasses to each side. Volley.
Kicked forward by Eckerman. Bounces over Kinnear's head. There's Etheridge. He'd be best player for Woodville, would he not? I think Ron Kitchens.
Almost.
Girardi. Beautiful mark.
He's been best player since half-time.
Oh, gee.
Did he kick in the man on the mark?
He had 4 blokes in the centre.
Off the top, there's Mueret. Give it.
Showed it to him.
Ooh, he got away with it.
Come on, Brenton, slip yourself.
Hold on. No one in front. You might see that green and gold singlet showing through on Noel's back.
Peter, Brett, and he's hopeless.
Doesn't know which way to go, Foster.
Umpiring from the diamond.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I think fitness the shore this afternoon in the big game.
Oh, they're going to get up Ports, you know.
Northcott, free kick to heaven.
Oh, good. We want a goal, Peckers.
So the Peckers got anyone that can run out there? And kick it across the wide.
Oh, look at his run with it. Oh, why they kick it out there when all their players are over there?
Look at the legs on that boy too.
They've got more of the legs.
Carlson, yeah.
He just come onto the ground though.
Oh, Eddie, make it! Oh, go again! Oh, he's holding him.
Yes. Good out.
Right.
Thinking this is an important kick.
He'll kick this Maynard. He's hooked it. Back here at the Adelaide Oval, Maynard has just registered a point from 35 metres out dead in front to put Port Adelaide in the lead by 1 point, but as Woodville going back into attack, player under pressure, gathers the ball in as John Girardi goes wide to Richter. The pass is good. Richter, plenty of time to play on. He's got the player there in Stephen Girardi, grabbed around the neck, grabbed the mark, and he will have a shot for goal for Woodville, some 40 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle. Plenty of excitement in the last few moments while we're off air, and you'll see a passage of the play that was on while we having that short commercial break on the end of the highlights tomorrow. The kick from Girardi is short. It's forced through for a point by McLeod, and the scores are level. 91 points apiece, 13-13 Woodville, 13-13 Port Adelaide at the 17.5-minute mark of the last quarter.
This is about, what, there's about 10 or 12 minutes to go in the game, and these are going to be the minutes that really call on each team and each player in the team. After the heavy conditions that they've played in with the heat and so forth, now is the telling time.
Yes, can the Woodville big men keep in this game? Long kick from McLeod, well marked then by Heaven. He's been a good player since he went to centre. Looked for that 15-metre penalty. Umpire Foster wasn't impressed, and he'll be kicking from a little further out, right on the tip of the diamond, some 55 metres. Short pass. Well taken there by John Girardi, who's been a real
will have to be best man on the ground.
Best man on the ground since half-time.
Came on at half-time and has been easily the best player on the ground.
Kick 2-2, looking for his third. Do Woodville need it as we're going to watch? It goes across the ground. Mueret underneath the ball. Spoiled. No. Free kick, Mueret. Paul Mueret made position well. Those tall hands up, 6 inches above the pack, and took a timely mark.
Mueret right in the last line of defence for Port Adelaide as we approach the 19-minute mark. He's going to come wide towards the grandstand side. The kick is a good one. The big pack of players form. Ball off hands, almost taken by Edwards, trying to get his way out of trouble. Gets the handball out to Brenton. Brenton gets the handball back in the direction of Edwards. Edwards unable to get control of the ball, but it's flipped out beautifully then by the Woodville player. Grabbed when not in possession, and Scott Richter to receive the free kick, goes short, finds Miller. Miller deep in the left full forward pocket, 35 metres out from goal.
Perhaps a negative kick then. Notice Gary Edwards on the ball, or down chasing his rover, might have enough run in his legs, perhaps could go on the ball.
Miller lining the goals up from the left full forward pocket. The kick on its way. It's going to fall short. It's going to go through for a point, and Woodville in front by 1 point at the 20-minute mark of the last quarter.
There should be some desperate football now, and Gary Edwards, we did see a moment ago in the play on the half-forward flank, had followed his rover down, but he's now picking him up, going right back into the back.
No, Woodville are running this game out as well as Port Adelaide, even though Port Adelaide have got the breeze. The ball in the half-back flank, a chance for Woodville as Richter goes goalward, lines the goals up with a short kick into the hands of Tearley.
Well done, Neville Tearley, plays on well, finds Jeff Ebert with the handball. Ebert across now to Hines. Hines looking down the ground with not a lot of leads. As Fowles gets underneath the ball, dropping back well done, Stephen Fowles.
Been a good player for Woodville.
From East Perth. Played league games this season, kicks towards centre half forward. Underneath the ball there, Lindsay Heaven, well marked.
be high in the VYIs. Lindsay Heaven.
He's got Tybor Godric there, and that's a mark, though. The umpire plays it on, and the ball's been tapped out of bounds by Alex High-Herrick. Everyone looking around there to see if the umpire will give a penalty out, to tap out, and umpire Des Foster takes no notice whatsoever. Out on the left forward pocket, therefore.
Buckley has the front position in front of Mueret. It's the tap going towards John Girardi. John Girardi lines the goals up. The
That's
kick
a
is
goal.
going through. It's through. And
Well done, Girardi.
Well, they don't hit the front. They were a point in front. They're now 7 points in front of that goal from John Girardi. He's kicked 3 goals since coming on at half-time, and easily Woodville's best player in the second half.
Well, we saw him have a shot at goals early in this quarter when he was hit very heavily after taking a couple of, or he was very groggy after taking a couple of heavy bumps and missed an easy shot, and now he's really set the thing up for Woodville.
I bet that's put plenty of life back into some tired Woodville legs now. That goal putting them 7 points in front, 3 minutes before the time on due to commence. Broderick in ruck. He's opposed to Brenton. Neither player. Broderick getting the tap out wide. Northcote overran the ball. Brenton's in there. Nobody able to pick the ball up cleanly. It's a chance, however, for Broderick as he gathers the ball in, but he kicks the ball very, very high. Carlson's out there throwing himself at the ball with the Port Adelaide player unable to mark players. Ball on top of the ball. Umpire Foster calling for the bounce.
Still anybody's game as we go some 23 minutes into the last quarter.
Still time for Port Adelaide to get up here as they trail by 7 points. The ball on their half-forward flank position. They've got to convert it from here and get it back to the centre.
Brenton opposed to Kurovec. Kurovec gets the tap down. It's gone Woodville's way, however. Players ball on top of the ball once more. Taken clear by Brenton, trying to dodge around. Gets the handball away, but it was smothered over the line out of mounds between the left half forward and wing position out of the side of the ground for Port Adelaide.
I don't know if he did it on purpose, but the best thing he could have done there, because he couldn't have got a kick, was punch it straight at the hands of the Port Adelaide player to force it out of bounds.
Roderick, the front position to Brenton. The tap goes down to Woodville's Miller. Miller under pressure. That ball goes to Reid. Reid around the outer wing. Gets the ball up towards half forward, looking for Stephen Girardi. Players fall on top of the ball. Umpire.
Oh, well done, Richter.
Richter over to the player there. Just can't pick him up for the moment. He does. There's a mark to Woodville.
Take your time.
It's Godric. Godric lines it up. Missed. 15 metres out. Inexperienced Noel Teasdale said, take your time. 15 metres out from goal.
Well, they're quite a number. The reason that I did it was because there were so many players rushing in to tell him to take his time that it was so obvious, you know, that with the excitement I had to follow them.
Quick kick out now by Ebert. There's a clash of bodies there. Mueret keeps his hat
kick to Woodville.
Taken by Peter Mueret, a good player all day for Woodville, has kicked 3 goals thus far.
Should take plenty of time too, Mueret.
Going for the short one over to Lindsay Heaven.
Well marked by Heaven. Stood his ground
15
well.
metres. That's the one that sewn it up for Woodville. 15-metre penalty. Lindsay Heaven now should have no difficulty at all in putting Woodville's 15th goal on the board, thus putting them, what would that be, 13 points in front?
14 points in front.
A
minute to play plus time on. Time on would be probably about 5 minutes, so we've got 6 minutes of play from this kick. It's straight through the middle, and great roar goes up as Woodville increase their lead to 14 points. Lindsay Heaven's second goal.
What a magnificent effort by Woodville in this last quarter. Port Adelaide, with the use of the breeze down to the southern end, but they've been outplayed by Woodville, and it's been Woodville's little players in Heaven, Richter, Miller, that has got them into the game, and also Mueret and Godric.
And I would say John Girardi. Great effort.
Woodville looking at their first premiership, have won one today in Colts football. Very keen to go on with the business now. Buckley opposed to Mueret. Mueret in front position, Buckley from behind. Here comes Keeley through. He's been a strong player all day, never given up. Well tackled then and kept in position. Down to Edridge, bounced away from him. Edwards, tapped forward by Sorrell. Edridge is there. It's strong play. Everyone fighting for position. Kinnear can't pick it up, taps it in front. Edwards came from nowhere. Well played, Gary Edwards. Puts himself in trouble, and now is kicked clear, and he's got Graham Mitchell marking, playing on quickly. Carlaw takes possession. Carlaw to Miller. Miller taps on. Miller runs clear again. This is great play as the crowd lifts now, obviously sensing a Woodville victory as the ball goes over the top of McLeod, and he's pleased and taps back. Good play then by Hines as he followed on well, and the ball has been marked by Peter Brenton on the half-forward flank.
All Woodville players should all settle down now. This should be the message. They've got the game sewn up if they can just take their time and settle themselves down.
Brenton's down, Miller on a short lead, and the Port Adelaide defence has become particularly ragged. He goes for the short one. The ball picked up by Girardi, back to Miller, the ball over his head, but Miller will have plenty of time to pick the ball up. Under pressure now, as Infull coming through strongly was Eckerman, was picked up by Woodville's Stephen Girardi, pops it over to John Girardi. John Girardi has a quick kick in towards
Richter.
Richter coming in, makes the mark, 20 metres out, dead in front. Woodville 15-15, 105. Port Adelaide 13-13, 91. 14 points in front. We've played a minute of time on, and Richter with the chance of saying the second premiership right up for Woodville with this kick.
Fitness has been the big key.
It's on its way, it's straight.
Great goal, Eddie Richter. Well done, and what a great effort we saw a moment ago here from the young player in Miller. He made the mistake by going short with the kick and then realised it and then kept persevering at the ball and in sheer desperation got the ball clear for a teammate, and of course he was able to get the ball over for Richter to take a great mark in front of the pack and kick a goal. And the key thing has been fitness. The little players of the Woodville side have been able to keep them, the Woodville team, in this game by running up with the ball all the time.
And teamwork too, Noel.
Yes.
Ray Buckley's still there though. Paul Mueret taps down to Alan Maynard deep into the forward pocket, and underneath it there Trevor Sorrell. Spoiled once again, this time by Reid. Woodville players throw themselves on the ball and hold the ball in position. The ball will be bounced by umpire Foster.
2 minutes of time on have been played, and this looks like a Woodville Grand Final victory, and well done to Gary Edwards if it is.
And don't forget the Channel 9 football show tomorrow at 12 noon.
Strong body play there, but the ball bounced away, tapped by Etridge, taken now by John Girardi, a great player since he came on to Lindsay Heaven. Heaven wide towards Mueret. Good play by Mueret as he kept his feet against strong body play. Kicks towards the centre of the ground, and there he's found Stephen Girardi, although he didn't get his body behind the ball. Probably very, very tired. Kicks to the forward pocket. There McLeod takes a well-judged and a safe mark in defence.
McLeod on the half-back flank, drives up towards the centre of the ground. Players rise for the ball, nobody able to pull in. It's a chance for Stephen Girardi to flip the ball out to Eddie Richter. Eddie Richter with the handball over to Mitchell. The ball bounced away, but it's John Girardi with the handball back to Mitchell. Mitchell's long handball trying to find Miller. Brenton in the van now as he gets the ball to bounce for him, has a look around, lines the goals up, the kick on its way across the face of goal, only 1 point.
Well, that's how tired the Port Adelaide defence is. They couldn't gather in Vic Peter Brenton, not the quickest of players, and he was virtually walking, but nobody could catch him.
That was slow motion, that one, but it was still well done by the big fella.
McLeod kicks the diamond, a poor kick off the side of the boot, a well-judged mark taken there by John Girardi. Obviously and definitely the best man on the ground since half-time when he came on.
Nearly make the distance, do you?
It's a wobbly old kick to the pocket. Players underneath. Oh! It's almost played on there. Is it Mueret or is it right?
Yes, Mueret.
Peter Mueret kicked 3 goals thus far. Goes back now in the diamond, in the square, and should have no difficulty in posting this one.
And already the Woodville players are congratulating one another as well, they might.
Yes, they've outplayed Port Adelaide. They've stuck to their guns in this the last quarter, and by a fine team effort and dedication, Woodville have been able to establish an unbeatable lead.
Straight through the middle.
4th goal into the breeze in the last quarter, while Port Adelaide kicking with the breeze that we thought was worth in the vicinity of 3 or 4 goals all day, and certainly by quarter scores up until the last quarter it had, but the wind has dropped decidedly, and Woodville have, irrespective of whether the wind has dropped or not, Woodville have finished all over the top of Port Adelaide, and they're going to run out very, very comfortable winners, holding a lead now of 27 points with only a matter of 2 minutes at the outside to play. To think about VYIs, who would you be going for, Noel, on the Port Adelaide side?
Port Adelaide side.
I think Neville Tealey stands out as their best player.
Would be the only one. Good, consistent game all day.
Port Adelaide Woodville doing as they like. The long handball out to Richter. Richter swings the ball deep into attack. Players set themselves for the mark. Good mark taken by McLeod.
Best players for Woodville?
Oh, there's that many of them. It's hard to pick one out as McLeod drives in towards the centre of the ground. Girardi up high, kick forward by Heaven. He's been a good player. Brenton has the chance. The ball on the ground. The chance for Tealey. Tealey has to handball out wide. Nobody out there at all. It's a chance for Hines to clear. Hines gets the ball forward, but was grabbed when not in possession. He will receive the free kick.
Showed his displeasure and his tiredness there as he takes the ball away from the half-back flank to the centre of the ground. Trevor Sorrell behind. There's a high fly by Carlaw. Well read off hands by Peter Harvey, keeping the ball in front. In a little bit of trouble now. Falls over on top of it, keeps it in his area, and that's what he must do. Finally, holding the ball, says umpire Des Foster. Peter Harvey in all sorts of trouble there as he couldn't break there. And there's the siren to conclude this magnificent win by the Woodville second side.
Woodville 17 goals, 16, 118 points. Defeated Woodville in the grand final of the seconds, 13 goals, 13, 91. And there you can see Gary Edwards, the captain of the Woodville seconds, being chaired off the ground and congratulated by his teammates. Set a fine example as their captain in the back pocket, especially in the first half when he set up so many plays from the back pocket position. And Gary Edwards, as captain of the side, will he'll be one player that will be receiving BYI's compliments of Revan International this week. The goal scorers for Woodville: Heaven kicked 2, Miller and Richter 1 each, Mueret kicked 4, Stephen Girardi 2, John Girardi on at half-time, best player on the ground from that point, kicked 3, but Ray Buckley kicked 3 and Spry kicked 1, while for Port Adelaide, Kinnear kicked 1, Boston kicked 3, Maynard 1, Kurovec 1, Roderick 2, Eckerman 4 and Mueret 1. Woodville running out comfortable winners.